I don't know why this never was a thing in Power Rangers at all. And it just boggles my mind every single time that I hear that. Saban never wanted Power Rangers to be linked whatsoever. It blows my mind that you don't link the series to the actual show. Now I know series are now being linked. I know things are being continued now, which is what I think it should have been from day one. It just boggles my mind that Saban was like, oh, I just don't give a shit, boys. Fucking fuck this off. It just makes things so much harder to kind of bring things back, that you have like these separate universes, like team ups. They do ridiculously well. Having another Ranger suddenly pop in out of nowhere does really well. You can make more toys from this. Why the hell would you not do that? Oh, it I don't know how to process it. I don't know what Saban was thinking at any point. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Power Rangers has always, to me, I thought has always been linked. You finish one season, you move into the next. It's just in a different part of the world, or now different dimension, or different time. So when you see stuff like, oh, a team up, Lost Galaxy with Power Rangers in Space, or Power Rangers in Space with whatever, I can't remember all of them. But when you have these certain ones, like Time Force and what was another one? Time Force and Wild Force. Like, it just made things so exciting to know that there was a previous team out there that would morph, that would do things. But no, Saban really didn't like that, and you could really tell along the ways. And it's just something that, why? As one question I would love to ask him if I sat down with him and had an interview and just talked about a load of stuff is, why wouldn't you want to link this? I think the only time, like, there's only been a few times that it has linked. You had Samurai with Clash of the Red Rangers, then you had Super Mega Force when previous Rangers would come along, and then it just kind of stopped, and I don't know why. But, since Beast Morphers would bring in Dr. K as well as all the others, and then now we see that Dino Fury had Beast Morphers in, it makes perfect sense. And those little things linking like different cities, like, oh, Dino Fury is like a town over the mountains or wherever it is, and then in basically Dino Fury they go, oh, it's over here. It just boggles my mind that Saban never wanted to kind of bring them together. And again, I want to know why. I feel like if you link them together, you have a lot more of a chance to kind of bring someone back, like whoever it may be. You could want to say bring back, like, say, someone from Wild Force or someone from another series from, like, say, Super Mega Force, and then add them in. It then continues and enriches the storyline that we want so much. And I feel like at times Power Rangers doesn't do this. It just feels like it's there, it's done, there it's done, there it's done. But to me, I kind of just wanted this to happen, and in my mind all the time I generally thought that they were all linked at some point, just again different parts of the world or the areas. It makes sense that way. Look at, say, Dimensions in Danger. You had 3 random Rangers turn up: Time Force, Wes, then you had Gem from RPM, and then Coda from obviously the Dino Charge universe, and they just randomly turned up. And then you had other random Rangers that were just literally kidnapped. Their powers were being used for evil type thing. You had Tommy coming back, and even in different series, like if you look at, like, say, SPD, where you had Dino Thunder come back like twice and stuff like that. That's the sort of thing that people want to see, where you could have SPD talk about, oh, Ethan, you've got like a technology company that we use everything today. Why wouldn't you want to carry that on? And again, I don't know why Saban wouldn't want this moving forward. Maybe it was a Nickelodeon thing, or maybe Saban was just like, I really don't want this. And again, boggles my mind. I will keep saying this all the time. If the story makes sense, then fine, bring them back. If it doesn't, you don't need to. But I did make a video on this talking about the SPD timeline. For a recap, basically SPD runs in 2025. But if you kind of skip that, and let's just say you had Cosmic Fury, or you had Zooja, whatever adaptation that you had next, or if they make their own thing, then they don't talk about SPD, they don't reference it, and then the year later, they don't have what future tech is there. You've literally just put SPD, and literally probably a few other seasons off into another universe and multiverse, whatever, or different dimension, very similar to Dino Charge. And I feel like that is a big shame that you would do that, because you'd want everything to be in chronological order, carry things on, and then obviously you can add things later on. But I feel like if you just skip this and did fuck all about it, then it just ruins the whole series in some capacity. You can still enjoy it, you can still imagine it being in the same thing, but for me personally, I would get really like, oh, okay, fine, all right. You know, you can reference it. You don't have to show it, but you can reference it. Like, oh, the SPD Rangers are doing really well. You know, you've got the whole thing with Johnny on Bosch, Karen Ashley, and all that coming back, where Adam and Aisha have founded, or possibly, we don't know yet, have founded SPD, or like the agency that makes it, with SPD Alpha, and then you've got the Delta site, you've got all the other stuff. You have all those other things. But that's how you would link it in to kind of go, hey, rather than have a really large explanation, this is what we're doing. And that's what I think would be the main case. I think if you try and cut them out and then make it self-sustaining, it really kind of makes it harder to kind of bring that. You have to write some sort of thing like, oh, we've made a device that can come across, we've done this, we've done that. And I feel like it takes the magic away. Like, you could probably have, let's say, for example, you know, the next season, and then suddenly an SPD Ranger walks in and it's just like, hey, cool. What I think is really interesting is, like, if you just have the suits, you could have someone walk in, like an SPD Ranger or Wild Force, and actually just join the team and help fight. And that makes me go like, oh, I really want to see that. I really want to see how they do this. And it just adds more to the story. It adds more to the plot and enriches the entire whole thing if the story requires it. I hate to see certain plot lines through the entire series be kind of set up and then never talked about again. With Dino Fury, we've actually seen this. Dino Fury has actually done a lot, and I generally like it where it's linking to certain things, where they're tying up the loose ends that we've not had. That to me is something that I really, really want to see, and I really want more of. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff being added in, or more stuff, you know, being talked about. That's what I want to see more. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Let me know. See ya.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。